just, drive a car, an internal combustion engine car to work every single day, you understand why they're so great. In fact, the Toyota Prius has about 600 miles of range, with having the hybrid side to it and the gas tank. Teslas can't catch up to that, right? Internal combustion engine cars still go faster than EVs, no matter what people tell you, right? And we are seeing the biggest win right now. A lot of people, again, I don't like to change everything that happens into like a war, right? Two sides are going up against each other. I don't like to call that like a war necessarily, because I think, unified is better. But god damn it, if it was a war, we'd be winning. Ford just switched up their EV plans. Remember, switched up. They're trying to make it sound like Ford just decided not to make it. No, Ford is realizing that EVs are not selling. Let that sink in. EVs are not selling. Every single little EV supporter that has said that EVs are going to take over the world, they're going to be great. Ford, Ford already drank the Kool-Aid. Ford already decided that they were going to switch all to EV. Ford already made that dedication. Ford was one of their examples of how to do it right. And now Ford is backing up on that promise. This is one of the best and biggest things we have ever seen. If you don't know, the Ford 3-row SUV they were going to make was going to be this Ford. Not to mention the Ford Capri, which would be like a smaller version. They've decided to make this new car a hybrid and not an EV. They didn't cancel it. Rumors say it's going to be a hybrid, not an EV. This is amazing vehicle. The Blue Oval turns its focus to hybrid vehicles. Toyota is doing this. Everyone is doing this. And trust me, hybrids may not seem like a good, thing. They're not really fast unless it's something, outrageously crazy and fast. But they're great for everyday driving, and they're certainly better than an EV utopia. I mean, this is so great. Again, I think that this third-row SUV is going to resemble the Ford C-Max. I actually like the C-Max. Of course, I like the V more just because I like good cars, but, it was okay. It didn't look bad. So Ford is officially, for the first time in a while, the first American car company is deciding to not drink the Kool-Aid. Hopefully, Stellantis, Carlos fuckhead, hopefully he finally decides that, maybe EVs aren't the answer. Because if Ford is switching it up, which, remember, they drank the Kool-Aid. They dedicated, all our cars will be EV by next year, yada, yada, yada. They did all that happy horse shit, and now they're backtracking. That's amazing for us. Car brands are finally realizing that buyers are what matter. And you want to know what, California? I don't care how many goddamn mandates you put out. I don't care how many subsidies you give out. You will never be able to substitute real buyers for cars. Car companies are always going to be to go with the buyer. That's how they make their money. I don't care how many damn subsidies you give out. The buyer is what matters, and they're finally waking up and realizing that. These damn EV mandates are going to look ridiculous. Now, Ford is abandoning them. So many people are whining and bitching about, oh, Ford, don't you just care about the environment? Number one, EVs are not the future. Number two, EVs are not fun to drive. Number two, number three, EVs are definitely not the future. They're not renewable. That's very stupid. Number four, people can't afford them. That's the entire point. This Lightning is ridiculous. Good old Ford pickups. And it seems like, the regular F-150, of course, is selling more than the Lightning. But it seems that we haven't heard about the discontinuation of the Lightning. All we know is they're, quote-unquote, switching up their EV plans and canceling their third-row electric SUV. That's it. That's all we know so far. But the mind starts to race. The mind starts to wonder. Does that mean the discontinuation of the Lightning? Does that mean, more pickup trucks? Does that mean more hybrid pickup trucks from Ford? Like maybe a, different cars? And this is amazing because maybe the Escape and the Edge won't be canceled. Both of these are set to receive the chopping block in 2024. Well, towards the end. But we can only hope that with Ford changing their direction, maybe they'll realize that these SUVs are good too. That is 100% the most we can ask for. This is amazing. And just in case you're wondering, Ford stock went up. It went up quite considerably after they made that announcement, and it stayed up since then. Again, not a huge amount. Went from 1085 to 1088. It went from 1067 to 1088. it's not like a gigantic spike like in cryptocurrency where it's worth $1 million, gets rug pulled, and now it's worth zero. But that's still, it shows you that this is right in the, headed in the right direction. And that spike has just continued. Again, other forces will affect this, but this was probably, a driver of that. Tesla, I think it's just going to be Tesla. I think by 2020, and remember, this is why it is set up perfectly for us. Perfectly for us. Because normally, let's say this was happening, right? Everything was doing well, the economy was doing well, everything was doing fine, but we had the current government that we do, which is currently pushing EVs. And car companies were starting to refuse to make EVs. That would be a good situation to be in, as the car companies are finally, which means you're going to see less of this stupid shit, hopefully, from Lincoln. The double screens, this widescreen display is a game changer. Yeah, for getting distracted and hitting a kid on the road and then getting the rest of your life ruined because of that. No one wants, Lincoln. I mean, the town car was good ever since then. Just no one wants that many screens. No one. Not even Elon Musk. Anyway, essentially, this is great. If it was just like a normal flat, right? We were in an echo chamber and the economy was doing well. There was no upcoming thing that would cause this to be dire, right? If this was just easy like Sunday morning, they just made this decision out of the blue like that would still be good. But keep in mind, we have a recession on the way, which means any brands that do not follow Ford's suit. Again, before this, we knew that, eventually this would be happening. Because again, no matter how many damn subsidies they give out, that's never going to be equivalent to the hundreds of thousands of buyers that Ford has. They're never going to be able to make up for that making cars that they don't want. Ford will always choose the buyer because they want money. Remember that. We have an upcoming, economic crash, recession type thing. Yeah, isn't that great? Because, again, this is going to be bad. It's going to be tough. Times are going to be tough. But the greatest part is, EV technology, I think it has the room to improve. But it's not there yet. And during the recession, people are going to want cheap, reliable transportation when they buy new cars. EVs just aren't there yet. Do I think they could get there? Yes. Are they there now? Hell no. The cheapest EV you can get is like $50,000 because everyone's jacking up the prices on this. This is so amazing. And if you don't know, Fiat did the same thing by bringing the gas engine back to Europe. They're bringing the gas engine back in 2026. Car brands are finally waking up. They're spitting out the Kool-Aid, and they're saying, we want buyers. We don't want the government. We want our buyers, because that's what's most important to them. And they're finally realizing that. And on top of that, EV sales, they're slightly, tiny bit up right now. They've been going on a downward trend ever since like 2021. This is great. EV sales are slowing. One of the biggest American car companies ever has decided to pull out of the EV game. Fiat, which is Stellantis, which, remember, Chrysler, Dodge, the car companies that we're worried about here. The thing that I'm worried about is not where they're at now, which is still very bad, not where they're at now. It's that their solution to this, Carlos Trevelyan, his solution to this is to make EVs, which we know aren't going to sell, which we know are just not going to bring in any money, and which we know are going to make them go bankrupt. And that's what we're actually worried about. Right now, they're so-so. If they do that, they're screwed. Stellantis doing this is making them realizing that EVs suck, and hopefully it gets to headquarters enough where they say, pull the brakes on the entire Chrysler EV crap thing. We can only hope. We can only hope. The internal combustion engine is winning. We are winning. Screw you, EVs. And also, the person that is laughing at me because my lizard died, my bearded dragon. Very sad. Yeah, had her for a while now. Yep, very, very sad. But hey, you want to know it? That's just what EV people are like. We are winning. Things are great. It's going to be amazing. I am so happy about this. I'm just over the moon. I never thought something like this would happen. I thought it's either go bankrupt or realize at the last second. This happening earlier is fantastic. And Ford, for the first time ever, you have my approval. For the first time in human history, that's the first time, that's the first time this quokka has ever given you my approval. So, congratulations, hurrah.